What's something you are very proud of but you can't speak of to any of your friends and family? I supported myself for 6 months solely by ghostwriting novels and novellas. Paid rent on time. Ate well. Had fun weekends with friends with extra spending money. Apparently I'm a solid and fast enough writer to live off it. Can't tell my peeps though. Because it was all niche kinky porn. Like. Really obscene taboo sheet. They will never read my published work. Also I contractual can't claim it as mine. Hence the whole ghostwriting thing. Equals bummer. 9-5 office work is more reliable and miles easier than writing. Though. Pays a little less. But gives me benefits. And I don't have to sell my soul to kinky demons. I built a porn site that gets a ton of traffic and generates a decent amount of ad revenue. Edit. Just not the kind of thing I can go. Hey. Mom, guess what I did? Lol. I'm really good at organic chemistry and synthesis. And after 10 years of work using YouTube, Iroid and other channels to teach myself, and developing new techs with better, purer yields and safer conditions for other chemists, I'm finally moving out of illegal work and studying towards a totally illegitimate degree at a prestigious university. I've been proud of my work for years. But I want to help people. And now I might actually be able to. Outside the realm of keeping my products safe. I started volunteering at a local school since summer where I meet and mentor young underprivileged kids. Spend time with them and do activities like drawing, painting, reading, etc. Haven't told mum and dad because they'll think it's a waste of time, but I'm secretly proud that I'm giving back a tiny bit to the society. I literally cannot comprehend any parent not being damn proud of their kid for volunteering to help people less fortunate. Good on you. You will be making a massive difference to those kids. I can handle extremely gruesome, tragic, disgusting situations without getting emotional or negatively affected in any way. Have had to respond to gory suicides. Family members still sobbing over their spouse or child's corpses. Decomposition so advanced it's hardly recognizable as human. All kinds of nasty deaths and related process as a coronary technician. I take pride in being able to deal with that. But it doesn't exactly make for appropriate dinner conversation. Edit. To clarify. When I say coronary I mean relating to the coroner, not hearts or arteries. I'm not a medical responder. Only get called when a subject is already confirmed dead. I didn't cheat on my wife. This may sound stupid or not something to be proud of. But to me it is. There's a girl I've been borderline in love obsessed with since we were teenagers. We've always stayed very close friends throughout the years, but last year she started dropping hints that she was into me as more than friends. One night we somehow ended up alone on a friend's couch and were talking and reminiscing about old memories etc, and she started putting the moves on me and tried to pull me in to start making out. I said to myself I can't do this and pulled away. Probably the hardest thing I've ever done, and I still think about that night almost every day. Now you're probably thinking, great job scumbag. Way to not cheat on your wife. But you have to understand. She was the one girl on the planet who I didn't think I would ever be able to say no to. I love my wife very much, and if I didn't cheat then it's safe to say I never will. Over the course of my writing career, I have put out well over 1 million words of top quality erotica in pretty much every niche you could name. But try bringing that up over Christmas dinner. I know someone else who did this, made decent money writing for Harlequin for a couple of decades. Her family knows. But she refuses to share her nom de plume or any titles. Before she met me, my fiancée thought orgasms were something you arranged for yourself with an electric friend after your partner fell asleep. But she really only needed someone who would give half a crap about her pleasure to figure out how to get off during sex. Now she comes like a champ. And I receive a disproportionate amount of credit for it. Being good at sex is one of those things that's awkward to be proud of as a man. You can't brag about it because people who are terrible at sex are also likely to brag as cover. Or genuinely not realize that they're terrible at it. Anyway. Good for both of you. Well done. The humble brags. Like the time I stopped to help an old lady cross the street or let a homeless person shower in my house. Can't brag about being a good person without being full of yourself, but can still take pride in it. Back when I was 14, I was playing a few rounds of Yahoo Pool and chatting with the folks on there. One woman I was playing with mentioned she was feeling worried about something. We started a private chat up and she asked me a SL, as was traditional at the time. And I mashed the keys in response. Instead of 14/MUK I mistyped 41/MUK. Most people would just correct it and move on. Capital I. Instead, ran with it and lied my way through the whole conversation as though I was 41. The problem she'd run into was that she was younger than her new husband and pregnant with her first child, but he already had 2 kids from a previous marriage. She was concerned that he might love their new child less as he already had 2. I told her that I was of the opinion that he wouldn't, as I was in a similar circumstance and didn't love my new child any less. We spoke for about half an hour about this and similar topics, and she left saying she felt much more reassured and less worried about the whole thing. It's not as big a thing as now as some people's items in this topic, but to her I think it made a big difference to her peace of mind. TLDR, mistyped my RSL and reassured a pregnant lady. Went to college in a foreign country simply because my family insisted that I should go. I was quite attached to my and friends, but in the process I lost most of them. Now, the course was math intensive, BSc, and I didn't have the necessary qualifications to enroll. But due to some administrative error they accepted me anyway. When they found out I wasn't qualified, my study advisor told me that the deed is done, but that I probably won't pass into the 2nd year anyway. I didn't even like what I was studying, and for 2 years I struggled with depression, anxiety and drug abuse. Would either only sleep 4 hours a day or 12+ hours a day depending on the situation. All the while dealing with courses and projects that didn't interest me one bit and hiding all my problems from the outside world. I still got that itch mostly done, with a 7 grade average over 2 years, and now I'm sitting at 120/120 possible ECs. Writing this from my internship, which bores the duck out of me. I'm proud that I proved those duckers wrong and I still managed to perform as a student. All the while struggling with my sheet. I still do. But I learned how to cope with it and get sheet done simply because sheet has to be done. My parents and close friends had no idea and I never discussed it with them. Don't plan to anyway. I've gone from being a bullied, spineless doormat of a teenager to a successful, confident guy who can pretty much do what he wants in life. I can't really brag about that because it would make me look like a douche, but I'm silently proud of myself. I can forge any document needed by anyone. $1 million bill. Please. I should have added the disclaimer that I am not a skilled money counterfeiter yet. I have dyslexia. Didn't find out till mid-30s. I'm also a PhD candidate in a STEM field. Once I found out, all my reading and memory issues made sense from over the years. I always just felt like I wasn't trying hard enough. So I forced myself to work harder, not knowing that I was actually developing a compensating method. As I got older, sheet got more difficult. So I looked into it. The fact that I've battled post-traumatic syndrome for years. I've hated it. But I'm still fighting. I'm strangely proud. Sometime since my last suicidal moments, self-harm is still going on, but I'm proud that I have been doing it less. Hey dude. It's okay to not feel okay. Just know that there's people who care for you even if you don't think so at all. I know I do, and I'm sure the rest of the Reddit community does as well. I managed to put up all the hurricane shutters on my house by myself while tripping major gonads on acid. My dad was at work and asked me to put up the shutters since he wouldn't be home until it got dark. I said no problem and it would be done by the time he got home. Well, I completely forgot about it and decided to trip. An hour into the trip, things were getting intense when my dad texted me. He was reminding me where the drill bits needed for the shutters were. I immediately knew this was going to be an adventure. Long story short, I managed to get up shutters over every single window in the house while simultaneously trying to figure out if that melting spot on the wall was a screw hole or a hallucination. I was proud of this because if you've ever tripped before, you know just how difficult it is to focus on something and even harder to do a physically strenuous task. I forget how to walk sometimes when I'm on acid, so the fact that I was able to put up those shutters made me pretty proud of myself. My friends know about it and think it's hilarious, but my parents don't even know I smoke weed, let alone do acid. So they will most certainly never find out I was tripping sack when preparing our house for a massive hurricane. I'm fighting severe depression and anxiety all on my own. My life has been upside down because of it, but I'm holding on. I don't go to university like I claim, nor am I employed like I claim. I'm fighting to get out of bed every day. Simply washing myself is a chore. I'm fighting my demons and don't want you looking down on me for being inept. I've tried so hard at uni and tried so hard at work, but I just couldn't maintain my position in either places, where I feel like every day I'm struggling to survive, let alone fulfill my duties as a student or employee. Also, my marriage isn't the happy couple I project. It's a whirlwind of abuse that has never improved, and I have been physically and emotionally abused to the point where I have self-harmed, but like hitting myself out of frustration and agony. Not cutting myself or anything like that, as I'm not suicidal. But I don't want anyone to know any of this. I make more money than my parents ever did. I'm proud of the fact that I can keep up appearances as someone who has their head screwed on correctly, despite feeling like I am absolutely batshit crazy. I'm great in bed. I can't speak for any of the poor sods I dated as a teenager. But as an adult, I've been told by several guys that I've given them the best orgasms they've ever had. And they weren't exactly in touched vagines. The thing is, I look like a bad bag of potatoes after being swallowed by an orch. So I choose to see my talent in bed as a kind of survival mechanism. Like evolution's way of making sure I won't die alone. But yeah, I prefer my friends and family to just know me as someone who has nothing to be proud of. It's better that way. I was having sex with my girlfriend in the shower, and between not having breakfast, the humidity, and the good loving, she passed out. I caught her, luckily, and carried her limp wet body back to my bedroom, and she slowly started to wake back up. I was seriously freaked out while it was happening, but it's a funny story now. I just passed my sommelier exam. But I work for the family fire truck business. I am planning on getting out, but I know it would break my dad's heart. I worked my ass off to pass. And I can't share it with the people who live me the most. I'm top 500 in Xbox Overwatch. I wouldn't tell anyone that I was a filthy controller user as well. I published a 90,000 word Harry Potter fanfiction novel featuring X-rated erotic scenes. It has over 1 million hits across 3 sites and 95% plus favorable reviews. I worked my ass off on it, and to date it is the creative work I'm most proud of. But if you think I'm going to announce at the family Thanksgiving party that my erotic Hermione Snape novel hit 1 million views, you have another thing coming. My friend. Edit, you can find it pretty easily using my username. It's on the 2 major fanfic sites, among others. Back in late vanilla early BC times in WoW, I made it to be the raid leader of several guilds. Playing with groups between 5 and 40 people. Managed to clear every single one of them, but never close to server first though. It happened to be hell yes Woon or Uzi as raid lord again. Well, today I am 24. BC came out in 2007, I believe, so back then I was only 14. Still makes me proud to have coordinated and be respected, accepted by over 40 players. Mostly adults. For my part, and this is just the time where I was playing that stupid game all the time. I've posed nude for a professional photographer 2 different times. 20 years apart. Nothing graphic or overtly sexual. Very tastefully done artful nudes. I'm proud of them, but it's not exactly the kind of thing you include in the annual Christmas card, you know. I never told my family I went to AA and struggled for years with overcoming alcoholism. They just know I don't drink anymore. I found a wonderful partner who loves me and who jives with my jam. He's handsome. And he's generous. And funny. And smart. And I just love him to pieces and am so happy and proud that he's mine. But I'm hesitant to be open about it because we're both married to not each other. I'm pretty proud that I've successfully navigated and thrived in an open relationship with my amazing husband too. And yes, my boyfriend and his wife are also polyamorous. I was addicted to painkillers for about 4 years. The first 3 years I was able to get them through my doctor and eventually pain clinics. The last year though I got them off the streets. To look at me you would never guess that I know intimately how drug deals work and even had drug dealer friends. Finally got to the point where I just couldn't afford it anymore and stopped. All by myself. That was the hardest thing I will ever do in my entire life. Then eventually went on to be an alcoholic after my brother died, and it was his wife that took me in and helped me sober up so no one would have to know. I owe her my life and can never repay her. Been clean from pills for about 4 years and alcohol for 1 year and 3 months. I lived for 1 more month over the top I gave myself to heal myself. Heh. It's absolutely garbage, but the bits of moments where I have faith keep me going. Yet my life is going downhill fast and I DK how much I'll take. Yet I'm still here for now. I can to my friends, not all of them. But not really to my family. The thing in question is that I managed to duck my ex's brains out and made her orgasm so much that she passed out. Twice. Why in this big beautiful world do I not have exes like you? Why? Exes that pass out? Or exes that would duck your brains out till you pass out? Anyway. It's my only ex. Never had a GF before her. Nor I got an off their own after. Love isn't really my thing. Plus, it was nice while it lasted. But I'm not really sure if it was worth it with how much she made me suffer. That I've been off meds for almost 5 months. I didn't talk to my psychiatrist about it, and really haven't had any terrible days. I think the therapy I went to and my time in the psych ward helped me to understand myself and cope better with my mental illnesses without medication. Which is great because meds make me foggy and sluggish. I was the first person to use the word decap exploded in regards to the explosive collars used in Suicide Squad on the internet. At least. After writing it, Google search only lead back to my post at the time. If that counts for anything. I went straight edge. I gave up smoking, drinking, drew gus and meat. The secret nature of the accomplishment makes it better. And if I told them they'd all be waiting for me to slip. Yeah. Supportive group they are. None of my family knew. Cause I was pretty distant in the first place. But I'm officially a year and a month clean from heroin. Was in a shitty, abusive relationship that led to a whole bunch of drew gus. Left him. Moved out. And cleaned myself up. I was so excited to hit my milestone. But couldn't tell anyone. I run a little record label from home and I love it. It's great because it's what I one day hope to do for a living and I've got a great start right now. However, it's a black metal label so everything is very NSFW, anti-religion, satanic etc, and my family is very Christian. Sucks that I can never mention it : This post is making me realize I'm not really proud of anything. I had an eating disorder for several years but I haven't made myself throw up in almost 5 months. Edit. Thank you everyone for the words of encouragement. Never would I have thought a bunch of strangers online could make me feel this proud of myself. Thank you. Congratulations. Keep it up.